Welcome back to the Sunday edition.
Ow. What's Sunday? I never remember what day it is.
I don't know how I keep track of the days, to be honest. I didn't think I was going to be able to.
I think because it's not like I don't usually have a type of life that is based around days of the week anyways.
Yeah.
So I'm usually pretty
That
on
makes
point.
sense. Especially, I think most people are like that now. Most people are like, what day is it?
I think I remember because of other people, though. I don't remember for myself, really.
Yeah.
I remember because, like, when I'm doing things with other people or I have plans with other people,
Yeah.
I base it off what their schedule is usually like. Because
Right.
even though mine's usually pretty
Yeah.
sporadic.
Right. Who knows at this point? Well, I know. But the gardening's going good, which is awesome. Gonna have a lot of food come, I think, July, August, September. There's gonna be a lot of food to harvest, which is gonna be awesome. And just in time for my project, I'm just gonna bring a bunch of fresh potatoes and onions. Just kidding, I probably won't do that.
I was gonna say, it was like I was trying to figure out like how are you gonna harvest it and bring it.
Probably won't.
So are you gonna be gone for like a month?
I think so.
You're gonna be out there the whole
That's
time.
kind of how it's looking.
Are you gonna talk about it or are you gonna leave it?
I'm gonna slowly talk about it,
Like a
if
hint.
it starts taking shape.
Like a hint.
Yeah, I've been hinting at it.
What's the idea?
Trail
like
running
not-
and mountain climbing?
Okay, that's a good hint.
Yeah,
And it's just hard.
on Vancouver Island.
A hard trail run and mountain climb in Vancouver Island.
Yeah,
It's a good hint.
yeah. Being gone for a month, that's gonna be a lot.
That's more of a hint that you're gonna be gone for a month.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, pretty much. Because logistically, even just to drive home, at most, I'm only going to be maybe a 5-hour drive from home.
Yeah, it's not that far.
But to make it back home and actually, like, do anything here and then drive another 5 hours, like, I feel that amount of time will be extremely detrimental.
You can see if you could find somebody who lives up there that you could like crash with.
That's what I was thinking. I do have a friend
you can find
near Campbell River,
Yeah.
but that friend is a female, so I would have to make sure that that's okay with Callie. Obviously. Well, you just want to make sure that kind of thing is okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
But that's actually a good idea. I didn't really think about that. I was just planning fully just to like be in my van the whole time.
Yeah.
But that might be a good idea.
Yeah, because I mean, being in your van, I'm sure is fine, and you're used to it. But after a while,
Dude, a shower?
a shower,
A hot shower, man? Huge morale
hot
boost.
shower.
I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, okay, I don't mind bathing in rivers and lakes,
Yeah.
but a hot shower?
Yeah, it kind
Ooh.
of depends, like how like rough it do you want to go?
Well, I'm thinking because it's going to be such, obviously physically it's going to be extremely demanding, but mentally it's going to be just as demanding, if not more.
Yeah.
And so, is it going to be good to have that hot shower morale boost, nice warm bed?
Or
is it better to just stay in that
hard
brutal mindset? Yeah, and just harden all the time and
Push
shower.
through.
Yeah.
Push through.
I don't know. It's all just kind of up in the air.
Yeah.
But that being said, I want to start cold showering every time I shower now because that'll kind of help me get into that mindset a little bit more.
I did a cold shower because in the summer, last summer, I was doing them all the time. Loved it.
So easy in the summer, yeah.
It's so easy in the summer.
Yeah.
But
cold showering in the winter,
cold
that's
showering
a different
in the winter
thing.
is a different story.
Yeah.
Kind of sucks. But I did one the other day and I forgot how awesome it is.
Yeah.
And how easy it is to get used to.
Oh,
when you
yeah.
first step in, you're like, this sucks. But then after a couple seconds, you're just like, oh, this isn't that bad.
Yeah. And you're just in and out.
And when you get out, you feel so good.
Oh,
you
so
feel so
energized.
alive, so energized.
Refreshed.
Your body's just like, why did you do that? But
Yeah.
your mind's like, that was great.
Yeah. Yeah, you can feel like the blood pumping in your body. Like your body's just like alive and woken up.
It's crazy because like you can have just finished a really hard workout.
Yeah.
And be tired, and you have the cold shower.
Yeah.
And you feel like you never even worked out.
Yeah.
Just because your body is so juiced up by that.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about
Wim Hof.
cold showering to kind of get in that mindset a bit more. And I'm trying to think of ways in just like everyday life that I can sort of like harden mentally a little bit to just in preparation, just slowly over the next like 3 months. Like how can I
Stop using your
mentally harden?
Stop watching YouTube videos.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like with my daily schedule, obviously right now I have a like pinched nerve, so I can't stick to my
That's why you're
schedule
like-
quite as tight. Yeah, that's why I'm like moving my whole body
Give me
to turn
weird
my
glances
when I'm on my schedule and like yesterday for most of the day yesterday for the first like 8 hours of the day, like pinched nerve wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
And I was doing everything directly to my schedule. And
Yeah.
I only ended up watching like maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 YouTube videos throughout that first 8 hours, which is pretty good because I have an hour of free time in the morning. Well, I have like an hour and a half of free time in the morning.
Yeah.
And then I have another hour just before dinner or after dinner. And so like I have a lot of free time, but I didn't
Yeah.
fill it with any sort of like YouTube, social media stuff. I was outside. I went for a
Doing
walk in the
stuff.
morning, did some gardening stuff.
Yeah, I gotta start doing that again. When I first got here,
Yeah.
when I very first got here, for the first couple of days, I would just get up and I would just go for a walk around the property, and it was so nice. It's
Yeah,
so nice.
it was so nice yesterday because it had just rained.
Yeah.
So everything was kind of dewy.
Yeah, you came in, you're like, it's
wet.
so nice
It was so
outside.
nice. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
cool out, which is nice.
guess
When you
I
have
don't
sun
know.
every single day, it's nice. But then when you get that one like rainy day,
Yeah.
just to switch it up, it's just nice to have something different. Same within the winter. When you have that one sunny day, oh my god, it's the best.
Yeah, exactly.
Switches it up. So yeah, that's the plan. A little more mental
I lost one.
hardening as well as physical hardening over the next 3
Yeah.
months. Just slowly, incrementally, because I want to be able to I want to sustain all of my training. Like I don't want to go through any sort of burnout.
Yeah.
Because that's been high on my radar. Is like, okay, how can I stop myself from getting really burnt out? And so it's just like slow, basically training like the tortoise and not the hare.
Yes, that is key.
Yeah,
Volume over intensity.
definitely.
Yes.
So
Yeah, I feel like the best mental hardening for you is just going to be like staying consistent.
yeah,
Because like you're going to have to stay consistent
absolutely,
to keep on track.
absolutely.
Should I pick one?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's dive in.
That's kind of crap. Dun, 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 dun. Videography.
Videography,
Like a
cinematography.
Photo, but 24 per second or more.
Yeah, 24
Isn't that crazy?
photos
Think
per
about
second.
that. Video is just photos really fast.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
just really low quality photos. Really
That I
fast.
think I remember when I figured that out when I was like first getting into videography.
Yeah.
And I figured out what 24 FPS and 240 FPS
Yeah.
and 120, that it was just frames per second.
Yeah.
And it still didn't really click. I was like, frames per second, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And then when I figured out it was literally just taking
photos.
24 photos
Yeah.
per second. That's all a video is.
Yeah,
And that's why, and that's how I explain when people ask me like how I explain slow motion
Yeah.
and how slow motion works. Because if you
just have more photos.
have 120 photos instead of 24 photos, you can stretch them out further.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's weird because it makes sense.
Yeah,
It makes a lot of sense.
it's weird because I understand.
It's weird because it has numbers and I
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's pretty crazy though.
Yeah,
It's weird how
isn't
that
it?
works.
Isn't it funny how similar photography and videography are, yet how different they are?
Yeah, because I have, for example, my sister. She's a photographer, and I was getting into video when we had this conversation, and she was like, "I'll never do video. I don't like it. I hate
Yeah.
it. It's like too much work."
It's the same understandings of light and the way your camera works, shutter
Yeah.
speed, ISO, aperture.
Man, it's
it's
so
all the
much
same
harder, though.
fundamentals, but they're two completely different practices.
I think video is so much harder.
it's way harder. Yeah,
It's so much. It takes
It's
so
harder and
much
it's
more
more work.
knowledge.
Yeah.
Like you can be a very average photographer.
Yeah.
Very average photographer and get lucky
Yeah.
and get a fucking amazing shot if you just click the button at the right time.
Totally.
That doesn't happen with video.
Yeah.
You can't just go out, like you never see people who are starting video.
yeah,
They can be naturally good at it,
Yeah.
but they never produce amazing
Yeah.
work right off the bat.
Yeah.
Or with photography, it definitely doesn't. It still doesn't really happen, but it happens way faster.
dude, I just had this brain click. So when I think of Instagram videographers, not real. Let's say filmmakers, but people who make videos.
Ooh, not real.
Well, just like not
No, I know what
filmmakers,
you mean.
video,
Yeah, yeah.
because videographer and filmmaker are two different things.
Yeah.
And same with cinematographer, videographer, filmmaker, all are kind of different things.
Yeah.
But I think of there's a few pages that I think of when I think of like Instagram videographer.
Yeah.
But essentially what that is what you described. Like photography, you just be at the right place at the right time and you just kind of hit that shutter and you catch a good photo. I feel like Instagram videographers or like that sort of format of video where it's not telling a story through any sort of like narration or
just
anything.
visual.
It's just a collection of like really pretty video clips. It's kind of just the same thing because they're at the right place at the right time, capturing, instead of a photo, they just got a video clip and then they stitch those all together.
But that's the thing.
But to make a film where you're actually telling a story through different maybe people or through different whatever it may be, to actually like tell like a cohesive story is a completely different thing.
It's so hard
because it's not just a collection of pretty clips.
Yeah, and one thing that I've noticed about the Instagram type of video, like the super short, like fast transition,
just cool transitions, cool color grading,
is you can be very, very average at videography or cinematography and be really good at editing and make it look amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if but
look amazing, not necessarily tell an amazing story.
Yeah, so telling I feel like storytelling has nothing to actually do with the camera or your editing. I mean, it does,
subject.
But it's how you apply your skill of storytelling to the camera and to editing.
Yeah.
But you don't really learn storytelling through
a camera.
I mean, it's hard because you do. I mean, it can be your medium that you use to learn it as you learn it.
Yeah.
But it's like a different skill.
Yeah.
Because if you're good at storytelling, you're good at storytelling when you speak to people through a camera, when you write, blah, blah, blah. And obviously you might be stronger at one of those skills.
Yeah.
But it's a separate skill.
Yeah.
Because it's not something that only videographers or cinematographers have.
Totally.
It's something that's broadcast amongst every art form.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting to see how there's kind of two types of people in videography, and there's the people who are visual and they just want to take videos, and then there's the people that want to tell stories through it, right? And it's like it draws almost like two different types of people.
Definitely.
Because like an Instagrammer or like even just like somebody just like B-roll.
Yeah.
Somebody's like really, really good at B-roll.
Yeah.
Those are usually totally different types of people than like people who want to do like 5 to 40 minute short videos.
Yeah.
Short films.
Yeah.
Right? It's like a totally different aspect.
There's a YouTube channel that I watch, and all the guy does is he just gets B-roll from like a stock video footage site, and his videos are purely just stock. He doesn't shoot anything.
Yeah.
But he does, it's called Economics Explained. It's just like it's an economics YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Really good. Check it out.
Explains economics.
And all he does is explain different, workings of maybe businesses or economic theory, stuff like that, but in an interesting way. But all his videos is just pure B-roll stock footage.
Yeah.
But he can tell a story or like spread information so well through that.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. So there's definitely a big difference, because some people want to do is be cinematographers. They just want to like use the cameras, get really cool video shots, or line things up a little bit, but the storytelling aspect is not, I mean, I guess that is a form of storytelling, but they're not necessarily, like a cinematographer isn't necessarily, well, it's not the same as a director. You know?
Yeah, that's why there's different roles in movies.
Yeah.
Right? That's why they have like insane amounts of people to tell one story.
Speaking of that, video credits at the end of any like feature-length film, it blows me away how you can have hundreds of people working on one project.
Dude.
Isn't that crazy?
Thousands of people sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes thousands.
Yeah.
That blows my mind that you can get that many people
and
to
people you wouldn't even think about.
Yeah.
Like what we were talking about the other day is if you look at the credits and you watch closely, there will be a colorist in like really high-end films.
Or the key grip.
And the key grip.
The guy who holds the boom mic above the
And a lot of times there's the focus puller.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the proper name, but they like are the people who pull focus on cameras.
Yeah.
That's their job.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But like a colorist is something that most people don't even know exist.
Yeah.
But they're literally there to make sure the colors look nice. Yeah. And they're cohesive with like the mood and the story.
Yeah.
But that's such a niche job.
Totally. Like you could probably be a world-class colorist without ever having made any sort of video or shooting a camera in your life.
But you just know how colors work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you went to school for fucking color theory or something.
if you look up like high-end movie color palettes, every high-end movie of like X budget and up has a palette of like anywhere between like 5 to like 20 colors. I don't really know much exactly
for every shot.
For every scene.
Yeah.
For every scene, it has like a color palette that they stick to, and it's so they can change moods. And it's like
that's really interesting.
It's something that I found because I've never I love cameras and I love video, but I've never really been into movies. Like I've never been into acting.
Right.
I've always been into like natural stuff, into like documentaries and for whatever reason. But it wasn't until I started to learn all the different really in-depth aspects of movies and how much effort, like colorists and the sound design and all these things. I watched have you seen you haven't seen A Quiet Place yet?
No.
You gotta, dude,
I want to watch that.
Great movie. So I watched the
second
video.
one is out, isn't it? There's a second one.
Yeah, I think this really second one.
Because the second one I seen, I was like, I want to see that. And Callie was like, oh, well, I seen the first one. It wasn't that good. I was like, what? It looks so good.
The first one was amazing.
I want to see it.
And I watched a video last night about the people, like I forget what they're called. It's called like Foley design. And it's basically people who create sounds for the movie.
Oh yeah,
so
they break celery. And stuff
so
like
that's
that.
exactly what he did. So the monsters have like these, they like hear, right? So and he wanted to figure out how to make a sound because their ears like open, and he had to figure out a sound to like a kind of a creepy sound when their ears like open. And he had a mic and he had celery and he was cracking celery just like really slowly. And then they went in and like sound designed it and it like they made it. I'm like, that was fucking celery. So like shit like that fascinates me that they can use all these different tools and stuff to make sounds. Because you think when you're watching the movie, you don't think twice about the sound that happens.
It's all subconscious.
It's all subconscious.
Same with color. Unless you know about color, you don't understand the effect that color has on you.
It's crazy how much effort, like movies and documentaries are one of those things that until people see behind the scenes, you don't realize how crazy a movie is. How much effort. Like, because that's something that I feel like a lot of people think is blown out of proportion, like how much movies cost to make. And like
millions and millions
how much
of dollars.
actors get paid and like all this stuff. But like the effort and the planning and just like, and they can take years sometimes to film. Like think about
Planet Earth. Everyone has seen Planet Earth. Everyone's blown away by it. How long did that take to
watch the behind the scenes of Planet Earth? It's crazy.
Isn't that like a documentary on its own?
Exactly.
Like the behind the scenes of Planet Earth.
I'm pretty sure the behind the scenes got an award. The behind the scenes of the movie. But that was the first Planet Earth is like my first inspiration for picking up a camera. I was so fucking fascinated. And it's like it's one of those shows because you think how hard it is to get a shot of anything, to get a beautiful shot. They get beautiful shots of things they can't control. Right? It's I mean, there's
really rare wildlife doing really crazy things.
They spend months and months and months like hanging out in a forest trying to wait for a tiger or something and getting a shot of it. Like, have you seen the episode that shows I think it was a jaguar, and it was like hunting, I don't know what kind of, it was a type of deer. I think it was like an impala or something. And it goes into this like crevice, like a super deep crevice, and it like hunts in the crevice. And and all the deer are like up on like the normal like flat ground, and the jaguar like goes into the crevice and it like peeks its head up and like
damn.
And like you don't think like because I was actually talking about this with my mom. She's like, so do you like think about the filming that goes on when you watch these things? I'm like, yeah, that's like all I think
all
about. Because definitely as I've learned, because when you see crazy shots now like that, I'm like, how the hell did they film that jaguar? How did they know where it was going to be? How did they have so many angles? They had, I mean, and I know that they definitely do like movie magic.
And they're all lit well. And
and they definitely do like movie magic where they like clip stuff together. And like,
definitely.
I know definitely in like hunts, definitely in animal documentaries, if it's like a hunt or something, they'll clip together different pieces of the hunt to make it look cohesive and like
they'll take like 4 different caribou shots of different caribou, but they'll tell the story of one caribou. And they'll make you think it's the same caribou.
But I think they're telling it pretty genuinely. But definitely, like they have to. There's no other way to do it. Like how can you?
You can't get that crazy.
It's insane how much effort and what the cinematographers go through to get those shots.
It's crazy.
Like, it's not just them going out with a tripod and a camera and like press and record. They spend
those guys are like the pinnacle of like cinematography and
they're
filmmaking,
and nobody knows their names.
Yeah,
Nobody knows who they are.
Couldn't name except for David Attenborough.
But he
couldn't name a
doesn't.
single.
But he's just the narrator. Like,
well, he is the narrator,
huge,
but
yeah.
he's also like really involved with a lot of the stuff.
He does
they
all
do.
the stuff as well.
And he's been I don't know if he's a scientist or something, but he's been in like wildlife research and stuff for years.
Oh
and
yeah.
years and years.
I'm not bashing David Attenborough.
Yeah.
He's a hero.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy.
Side topic, Planet Earth. This is gonna sound weird, but BBC's Planet Earth, kind of. I had a revelation one time. If there was ever a point where I started believing in some form of God, in some form or another, it was because I was watching Planet Earth. I think I was 16, and I remember it was an Antarctica episode. And in the summers in Antarctica, there's this one area where, you know, it warms up and, you know, the ocean gets a little bit warmer and a lot of the ice starts to melt away. But then all of these animals like whales, sea lions, penguins, all sorts of different birds, like all this life, all congregates on this one area for just a few months out of the year. Like all this different life, it all goes to that one spot.
Yeah.
And in my head, I remember watching that and I was like thinking, how do all these animals just know to go here?
Just know.
How do they? And then that kind of sparked the thought of like, there's got to be like maybe it's God, you know? And,
yeah, it's crazy when you see all that kind of stuff and
BBC Earth, Planet Earth made me believe in God.
Yeah, like migrations and stuff. Like how do birds know where to migrate?
Dude, it's crazy.
Yeah.
How did you know all this stuff?
Another fun fact about Antarctica. Did you know Antarctica is a desert?
Yeah.
It's actually a desert.
Right.
And that's why...
Is it because it's like so dry or something?
And the only reason there's so much snow is because it never gets warm, so it never melts.
Right, yeah.
So it just keeps...
because it doesn't precipitate that often.
It doesn't snow that much.
Yeah.
It barely ever snows.
Yeah.
But it's just because it's so cold, when it snows, it stays forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a desert. That's the last thing you would think of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen the like Jimmy Chin North Face photos?
I haven't.
The photos of them climbing in Antarctica are crazy.
I bet it's probably nuts.
It looks like an alien land because there's these.
Is that when he went with like?
He went with Alex Honnold and like
Conrad Anchor probably. Something
and there's photos of like just these peaks.
Yeah.
But then because it's all just untouched snow.
Yeah.
It's like a white void. With
peaks
just
that
mountain peaks that come out.
Yeah.
It's like like you know when you're above the clouds and you get inversion, but it's flat.
Yeah.
Like there's no like clouds are like bumpy.
Yeah.
It's just flat white.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
When I was younger, I think I was like maybe 12. I went to Florida with my family just for like a little vacation. And I remember that day we were landing in Florida. We were in Orlando or something. And it was a really overcast day, but it was really low like cloud ceiling. And so when we were going to land, I remember looking out and it was just like flat white clouds and it looked like a big glacier or like just snowpack. Yeah. And I remember thinking like, oh, this is probably what Antarctica looks like.
Flying over the clouds is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love flying.
It's a cool feeling. Yeah. Crazy.
I was listening to someone's comedy. So I think it was a comedy special or something. But someone was doing this bit about how they're basically making fun of people on like 6 a.m. flights who like always want to take pictures of the sunrise and shit, because if you don't fly that often, it's always so cool, especially when you're above the clouds and stuff. But then for everyone else who's used to flying all the time, 6 a.m. flight, they just want to like sleep and get their rest.
Yeah.
He was basically like calling them fucking idiot because it's just like, you're like opening the window, letting all this light in when like all these other people are trying to sleep just because you want this like stupid photo. It's like, what, you've never seen the sun before?
Man, I don't care. Then when I was
it's so beautiful.
When I was traveling, I was flying like all the time. Every single time I wanted to look out the window.
Yeah.
I don't care how many times you do it.
It's people that fly for business, I think.
Yeah,
that are just
because they're business
their
people.
grind.
I feel like that's because
it's
that's
part of their grind.
Personality is just boring.
Yeah.
I don't know. They might be boring.
It's like people who hate long commutes. Like when I drive from here to Victoria, which is about an hour and a half.
Your long commute goes through mountains and you're by the ocean and you're going through beautiful forests.
Yeah.
If you have an hour and a half drive through Edmonton, Alberta, you would not like commutes.
Actually, when I was working for Lafarge when I was 18, I had it was about an hour commute to work one way. And I love that because it gave me time in the morning to like drink a coffee.
Yeah.
I'd listen to the radio or maybe some music, whatever.
Still, where are you commuting? You're in the country.
Yeah,
There's no traffic.
Yeah.
When people think our commute, they think I'm on the Anthony Henday to Edmonton and it's bumper to bumper traffic.
That
for
is
an hour.
stressful. Yeah,
and if there's no traffic, it takes 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's what's stressful about commutes.
Yeah, that's
yeah. No,
like LA traffic.
I'm in this. Yeah, I feel like everyone's like that. If you have a beautiful drive,
it's like a road trip. It's like a small road trip.
Yeah, everyone would love that until you work there for 2 years and you realize that you're spending a lot of money on gas.
Yeah. Well, I got that after like 3 months.
Yeah. Well, even when I lived here and I worked like on the other side of Nanaimo.
Yeah.
That was like minimum half-hour drive every single day.
Yeah.
And it wasn't not that half hour is that long.
Yeah.
But it was just like at the end of the day, I was like, oh, there goes like an hour and a half if I work.
It's an hour of your time. Plus, it's a lot of gas money. That's like me working in Victoria.
Yeah.
You know, I'd only drive from here to Victoria twice a week.
Yeah.
You know, I'd go there, stay in Victoria, and then drive back on my days off.
Mm-hmm.
But even that, it's still a lot of gas money.
Yeah.
And then if I want to go do adventures on top
Definitely
of that.
on the island.
Yeah.
Gas here is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty pricey. But you know what? You get used to it.
Yeah. Last time I left, gas was $1.60 something.
Yeah. Last year when Callie and I went on our Colorado road trip, the day we didn't fill up on the island because it was it was $1.63.
Yeah.
And then I remember we were in Montana somewhere and or Wyoming, and I remember it equated to like 80 cents a liter, whatever the price was.
That's why driving back out here this time was awesome.
Yeah.
It was
gas right now is 90 cents on the island.
In Alberta it's like 60.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. That's cheap. Just to bring it back to videography, what are you... Because I think... Okay, so I had this thought yesterday about photography and videography. I feel like these two things get kind of boring once you stop learning. Because I remember just before all my stuff was stolen, kind of... once I had been doing photography, videography professionally, pretty seriously for like 2 or 3 years, I got to a point where I thought I was really good. And so I stopped trying to learn new things. Because you know how when you first start out, you like go and you're like learning how to do this and how to do that, how to do cool video transition, stuff like that. But then I feel like you get to a point where you almost think you don't need to learn anymore because, at least for me, I got to a point where I thought I was like...
For what you wanted to create.
Yeah, I was good enough where I don't need to learn new things, and it actually got boring for me. But now that I'm kind of reintroducing myself to everything and like learning color grading over the past 2 days, like just like delving deep into that, getting into that, it's like, it's actually ignited this whole new kind of excitement in me, this whole new drive, because I'm like, oh my God, I still have so much to learn. Like I got to get to it, so I find that really interesting. Because I feel like it's really easy to learn, or I feel like it's easy to, to kind of just treat it as a job because you're not learning anything. It's not new and exciting anymore. Yeah. So for the future, next time I feel like I'm getting to a point where I'm maybe a little bit bored or not feeling super creative, I feel like that's a good opportunity to learn more about sound design or ways that I can... improve my shooting techniques or my editing techniques.
I think there's a lot of factors for that. It's like, it's definitely like you want to keep it new and exciting and like learning things, but it also depends like if you have something to film, because there's lots of people who do film and they aren't necessarily the type of filmers that they come up with an idea or a concept and want to film it. Yeah. They go out and do stuff and film it. Right. Like adventure filming. Yeah. Like you don't you have ideas and concepts and things that you want to do, but you go film. You don't just like create a film in your room. Right. Like some people do that, right? Yeah. Whether it depends on what kind of filming it is. So I feel like it just depends on what kind of filmmaker you are. Yeah. And, I was going to say a second point, but I forget what it is. What kind of filmmaker you are, and if the type of filmmaker you are constantly brings in new things to film. Right. That's one thing that I definitely struggle with is like people are, wow, I'm really struggling to talk right now. Or say stuff in the right order. One thing I struggle with is having creative ideas to film all the time. Right. And then when you try to come up with something new, it's not really genuine.
Right.
You know, it's just like you're just trying to think of something to create because you feel like you should be creating something.
Right.
And then you don't really film it as well.
Right.
Or you don't put as much effort into it, or you don't really actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you do that too often, you start to lose interest in
Right.
the filming.
Yeah.
And then every now and then, like, some new thing will come by that you're actually really interested in filming, and
Yeah.
you'll get that spark again. You'll be
Right.
like stoked to do it. But yeah, anyways, that was a really messy way of saying that. But
Yeah. Yeah.
feel like you
I
gotta-
think
you
a
gotta
big
stay
key is,
interested.
to find stories you want to tell that are interesting not only to you, but you know, to other people. At the end of the day, it has to be interesting to someone else. Which I think naturally, if you're interested
Yeah.
in something, it's going to be interesting to someone else.
It depends, and it depends on what part of cameras or videography you're into. Like, if you're into the storytelling aspect,
Yeah.
or you're into the documentary aspect, or you're into the camera aspect,
Yeah, the
because you
gear
can just
side.
love cameras,
Yeah.
and just be stoked to mess
A
around.
lot of people make their living off just talking about camera.
Exactly, and in that case, you don't have to go out and film anything.
Yeah.
But like, let's say us, we're more like
Yeah.
actually want to go out and film stuff we do, or
Yeah.
film short films about
Other people
climbing or
yeah.
whatever it's going to be.
Yeah.
And so we're not necessarily into the camera itself. We're into what the camera does.
Totally.
So it's a totally different aspect of passion, I think.
Yeah.
And someone who's like a total gear geek,
Yeah.
that all they want to do is learn about the camera and figure out the best ways to use it and everything, but
Yeah.
they never actually like leave their house.
Totally.
They're probably loving this right now.
Yeah.
Right? But
Yeah,
it's
seriously.
a totally different, it's almost to the point that it's not even the same like passion. Mm-hmm. It just has this same piece of equipment,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of medium.
Yeah. It's like people who like show horses and race horses.
Right.
It's like it's a
They
horse.
both love horses, but
They
for
all
two
love horses,
completely
but for
different
two
reasons.
completely different reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or outdoor crack climbing versus gym climbing.
Yeah. Like, I don't like trad climbing.
A lot of people don't.
I personally think if you trad climb, you're kind of dumb.
Well, I think you're just a little crazy.
You're not dumb. You're a little crazy.
Dude, trad climbing is so much fun. You've never tried fully trad climbing, though.
I've trad climbed.
Hey?
Just one route
Where?
with Kurt. That was when that big ass rock fell.
Oh,
Remember that? Oh, you
yeah. I wasn't there, but I remember hearing about
If
that.
I was that was probably the closest the
have a
closest
helmet?
I've come to an actual injury in climbing. I was wearing a helmet,
Good.
but the helmet would not have mattered at all because the rock was the size of this table. No shit. The rock was like legitimately that big.
Yeah.
And it was about a meter off the ground.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't high, but like, because we were climbing at Sunnyside,
Yeah.
where we all climbed together
Yeah.
that first time.
Yeah.
So the ground that you stand on isn't flat, so it was like a little.
Yeah.
It's still a little bit slanted.
Yeah.
So it dropped and rolled.
Yeah.
And if I was standing behind Kurt,
I remember I got there just after that, and there was a big like hole in the wall.
I would have gotten
basically.
fucked
Yeah.
by this rock.
Yeah.
It was so big.
Yeah.
And he literally all he did was put his foot on it.
Yeah.
He just like he just like stepped on it.
Yeah.
And it fell. Like,
Yeah.
good thing he didn't start on that rock and like try to pull on it or something, because
Right.
it would have like
knows?
taken
Yeah.
his legs out. And
Yeah.
not, I mean, he would have broke his legs.
Yeah.
Like, that was a massive rock.
Yeah.
And we both just looked at each other. We're like, shit. Yeah, that was
crazy.
scary. It was I was like, and for no reason, I was standing way off to the side.
Yeah.
Like, there was zero reason for me to standing
Yeah.
over there. I just was.
That's
And I was
crazy.
like, thank God. And I did that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I took a
Dangerous.
photo of it, and Kurt put like his hand in the hole,
Yeah.
and the hole was like the size of his torso. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, trad climbing.
Scary.
But videography.
Explain what trad climbing is.
Well, we should save that for another episode.
But what if it doesn't come up for like...
Okay, trad climbing.
Just very briefly.
Trad means traditional, and basically when climbing first started out, people would... Ah, geez, you kind of have to go into the whole backstory of it a little
No,
bit.
it's just not to the backstory. Basically, in regular climbing, there's bolts that are already in the wall that you clip into. In trad climbing, there aren't bolts, and you go up with these little things that you put in cracks, and you just really hope they stay there, and then you clip in, and if you
Yeah.
fall, you hope it doesn't come out of the crack.
Yeah, so you can
That's
do something.
why trad
It's
climbing
called
is
like a
kinda
nut.
dumb.
It's kind of they vary in size, but sometimes they're like the size of your finger, and they have a little metal wire that sticks out. And basically, you have your crack, and you take your nut, and you put it in the crack in a way where you kind of wedge it in, so it's really hard to pull out. And then you clip your rope into that, so that way, if you're climbing and you fall, off the rock face, essentially that little nut in the crack is going to stay ideally in the wall. But there is probability that your gear or your placements can come out of the wall. So whereas sport climbing, which is different from trad climbing, is where the bolts or the hangers are directly bolted into the rock, so they don't pull out whatsoever unless they're really, really bad bolts. And then you clip into those, so that way no matter what, if you fall, that thing's going to catch you and you're not going to pull out of the rock or anything. So trad climbing is extremely scary because always as you're climbing, not only is it hard climbing and there's probability that you may fall depending what grade you're on, but there's that added sort of edge of if you do fall, your gear potentially can pull out a little bit and
you die.
And it could get serious.
But anyways, let's cut her off.
Yeah.
Now that you know about trad climbing.
Yeah.
That was videography and trad climbing.
Yeah.
And cinematography and movies and Planet Earth BBC.
Definitely. Eddie and I are working on some projects, some big projects.
Don't say that. That puts pressure on me. Just kidding.
Well, we're working on some big projects, and there's a lot of pressure going around. And yeah, I mean, stay tuned over the next few months. Probably be seeing a lot more coming out, I imagine. So keep your eyes peeled and subscribe. All right, bye.